Welcome to the part 2 of NetFlow Analyzer's free training series. This season's free training series is divided into two schedules. In the first part, we discussed about the essentials of bandwidth monitoring with NetFlow Analyzer. And in the second part, we'll be talking about how you can manage bandwidth bottlenecks with traffic shaping and solve challenges that comes with network management and scalability with capacity planning and integrations. Let's start with today's session, functional formulae to streamline monitoring with NetFlow Analyzer. So in today's session, we'll discuss benefits of building and auditing QoS policies, how you can carry out capacity planning and save from expensive bandwidth investments, and lastly, what are the new integrations and updates to your product. Prioritizing data and traffic shaping, optimization made easy. Bandwidth management's crucial aspect is to make sure that your users are having enough bandwidth to access business-critical applications. If not, your productivity is going to go down in vain. On the other hand, it's impossible to keep investing in more bandwidth, draining your enterprise's budget. How do you optimize the existing bandwidth such that it offers smooth network performance to users of all departments while also restricting bandwidth to resource-intensive applications is where building and auditing some policies comes into the picture. By prioritizing data with available bandwidth, you can restrict access to media-rich and non-business critical applications. NetFlow Analyzer offers traffic shaping options such as ACL and service policies. The ACL, or Access Control List, will allow you to filter out traffic for layer 4 applications by blocking IP addresses that hog your network. As you can see in the screenshot, you can either create a new ACL or select an existing one to permit or deny access to an IP. The configuration is as follows. So in the UI, you can find the ACL under Inventory tab in the Devices. On the top right corner, you can see the option for service policies and ACL. So as you can see, here are the list of ACLs. You can either edit or delete the existing ACLs. To add an ACL, you click on Add ACL button and select the toggle button for standard or extended ACL. So there are two types of ACLs, as you can see, standard and extended. While a standard ACL just permits or deny traffic based on source IPs, the extended ACL can permit or deny traffic based on source and destination IP addresses, as well as the protocol types such as TCP, UDP, ICMP traffic types. So you can give the option for access, either permit or deny, and select the criteria, either source host or source network, and provide the ACL name and click Save. So once you click Save, your ACL will be added here, and you can either permit them or deny them at any moment of time. You can also select the criteria for limiting the access about how much accessibility you want to give the app. The next is service policy. So you can manage your service policies and limit access to apps based on priority with service policies. So with this option, you can classify applications by different classes and assign a service policy to them. With this, you'll be able to limit access to application based on priority. So let me show you how it is done in the UI. So again, to configure a service policy, you can click on the service policy option. So you can add a class to your applications or select the criteria and add them to an existing class, after which you can assign to them to an existing service policy or create a new service policy based on your priority. So to add a policy, you provide a policy name and provide the class map, and it can be based on traffic shaping, priority, care, test, based on your network monitoring needs, and provide the criteria. It can be either with bandwidth, compression, drop, polis, priority, queue limit, service policy. And it can be either with KPBS percent and remaining percent, and provide a range. And the match statement, you can either match it or no, with no match, and click on save, and the policy will be added. And to add a class, you can provide a class name and the criteria based on access group, class map, DSCP, protocol, or precedence, and click on the match statement for either match or no match, and click save. So now your class and policies will be added here. You can either edit them or remove them. So now that you have applied your service policies and access control list, you can make sure to prioritize significant applications. It is mandatory to check if the applied policies are effective. The CBQS or the class-based quality of service will help you with that. You'll be able to monitor the difference between pre-policy and post-policy performance with CBQS graph. You can find out if the applied policies actually work for your network. This graph will let you know the traffic difference for different time period and will let you know if the applied policies actually work for your network. You'll be able to see the traffic patterns based on packets, volume, speed, and queue. With NetFlow Analyzer, you can categorize the traffic usage by department, branches, network subnet, related applications, and even VLANs. So glancing through every interface and application to deduce if any department is facing a lag in performance can sound redundant. So by having logic groups, you can group your network elements and get their overall traffic data. Therefore, if you want to know the bandwidth consumption data of a particular department, you can get the cumulative performance data without having to sift through every interface or devices. So with this option, you'll be able to exclude or include the specific traffic for which you need to closely monitor the traffic pattern. You can also sort the traffic usage by different groups to get the cumulative performance report and make management smooth and time effective. You can utilize group settings and create groups such as interface groups, IP groups, application groups, DSCP groups, access point groups, and SSID groups. You can assign or restrict accessibility roles to admins, operator, or guest. So in the UI, you can find the group settings under Settings, NetFlow, and Group Settings. So as you can see, here are different types of groups, such as device groups, interface groups, IP groups, application groups, DSCP groups, access point groups, SSID groups, and AS groups. So to add a device group, you can either click on the Add button, provide a group name, provide a description, and create a group based on devices or criteria, and select the devices that you need to group. So after selecting the devices, you can click on Save. And now your device group will be added here. And to create an interface group, you can click on Interface option and provide the group name, provide the speed, and select the interfaces that you want to add. And click on Save. So now your interface group will be added. So moving on. Monitor custom applications. NetFlow Analyzer has predefined applications that are listed, but if you have a homegrown application that is not listed in the UI, it might be because of the port and protocols that are not mapped for the particular application. We show the layer 4 application traffic based on the port and protocol mappings available in the product. We have around 11,000 plus mapping available in the product based on the IANA standard. In case there exists a unique combination of port and protocol available in your environment, then those will be displayed as unknown app, that is custom application. So to configure custom applications, under the inventory section, click on interfaces. And click on the applications. And you can, with show ports, you can add mapping to them. So you can see the layer for applications here. And you can click on the show port to see the port and application mapping of that particular application. So you'll also be able to see the source and destination IP address of that application. The next feature is the username IP mapping. Username IP mapping is a feature that can help you assign a particular username to the IP addresses. There are three types of username IP mapping, such as manual mapping, AD mapping, or Active Directory mapping, and DHCP mapping. So to configure the IP mappings, you click on Settings, and under NetFlow, click on the IP mapping. So to create an AD mapping, you click on the Add Directory mapping and provide a domain name and a username and the user to exclude. And you can create a group or the devices that you want to add and click on Save. Your AD mapping will then be created. Here, AD mapping will automatically fetch the username and the host names from the Active Directory server and assign them to the corresponding IP addresses. Whereas in manual mapping is where you'll manually import username IP mapping data to assign usernames by choosing files and uploading it. So to provide a manual mapping, you import a profile name and select the host type. It can be a local host or a remote host, and select the file location. And after you upload the file, you can select the devices and click on Save. And your manual mapping will be configured. And DHCP mapping is where the username and IP addresses are fetched from the DHCP server log, and NetFlow Analyzer will start showing username from the next flow. So to configure DHCP mapping, you have to provide a profile name, select the host. It can be local host or remote host, provide the file location, and select the devices and click on Save. Moving on. Cloud services. Cloud services monitoring is useful for you to look at the unknown services and links being accessed by your users. Though there are advantages of using cloud services for your organization productivity-wise, knowing how they are being used and by whom is essential to maintain security in your organization. NetFlow Analyzer will help you monitor these cloud services by grouping these devices based on IP addresses. Therefore, you can monitor and manage important cloud services in your network. You can also identify the top users and conversation. So to configure cloud services, under the Settings tab, you can click on the Mappings, and under Cloud Services, you can see the list of cloud services that are configured in NetFlow Analyzer in your network. And to add a cloud service, you can provide a cloud service name and the category to which it belongs. It can be either internet, telecom, office suite, autos and vehicles, remote access, cloud storage, web hosting, etc. You can provide the start IP and the end IP and click on Save. And then your cloud service will be added here. So to know the conversation, you can either edit them or also delete them. Capacity planning, reporting and predicting bandwidth needs. Bandwidth management doesn't just stop with keeping a close eye on real-time traffic data. Especially when you're a growing organization, the bandwidth requirements can be growing in tandem, and you need to have the right knowledge on what amount of bandwidth your organization needs exactly in the future. With capacity planning, You'll be able to predict a plan for your organization's network upgradation. Capacity planning in an organization is important to access future IT requirements based on forecast. For example, if there's a high utilization of one of your organization's core applications which causes congestion, you would automatically resort to buying more bandwidth. But this is not one size fit for all solution. And you should know better before introducing friction to your budget. So how do you know where your network requirements might be in the future? This is where planning along with the forecast report comes in. Capacity planning report lets you view a clear picture of bandwidth utilization over time and the applications used. With this, you can accurate statistics and you can predict and plan how your enterprise's bandwidth needs change in scale. You can also identify the bandwidth bottlenecks and the wasted bandwidth. Configure capacity planning report. Under the report section, click on NetFlow and click on capacity planning report. You can either select a source, select the device, select the traffic type. It can be either speed, utilization, or packets. Select the time period. Select the business hour. You can provide a business hour filter also. And click on exclude weekend option if you want. And by clicking generate report, so you can see the report generated under volume, speed, utilization, and packets. So you can see the category of in and out traffic with the total volume consumed and the traffic summary based on time of in and out traffic and the average usage on daily basis and the standard deviation with the top application in report and the top application out report and the application growth over a week's time with the complete conversation data. And you can schedule your capacity planning report based on your needs. The other type of report to plan your bandwidth requirements is the forecast report. A forecast report from NetFlow Analyzer employs techniques such as autocorrelation, seasonality trend decomposition, and regression. The forecast reports would be generated based on the availability of past data, helping you to get a better picture of what can be expected in the future. So to configure a forecast report, select the forecast report, select based on your traffic or application, select the source, select the device and the interface and the traffic type based on speed and volume and utilization and the forecast for next 7 days. And it can range up to 1 year with different options of 1 month, 3 months, and 6 months in queue. And you can select the business hour filter and exclude weekends option and click on generate report. So as you can see, NetFlow Analyzer has predicted the bandwidth consumption for the near future for next 7 days. And the dotted line here assumes what might be the traffic for the next 7 days based on the past data. So this is forecast report. And the next type of report is the billing report. Billing cycle. Having a NetFlow Analyzer can be an advantage to a network admin, especially ISPs, to generate bills automatically without having to customize it every month for every customer. So a billing report for NetFlow Analyzer will look like, under the report section for NetFlow, click on the billing option. So you can see the existing billing reports. So for example, for bill 1, you can see view the report based on the bill plan name, and the bill is based on volume, and the billing cycle is first of every month, where it is calculated in USD with base volume, base cost, additional volume, and additional cost. So to add a billing report, you click on the add button and provide a bill name, description, and the bill type based on speed and volume, and the currency in which you want to receive your bill plans, the base cost, additional speed, and the additional cost, and the 90th percentile value. It can be either by default the 95th percentile, or the 90th, 85, or 80, or 75, and the percentage calculation. It can be in and out merge or in and out separate, and add taxes or charges, and click on next. Then you can associate the devices and bill schedule details. So this is billing report of NetFlow Analyzer. Proactive management. As a network administrator, your job is to also ensure that there is a risk and strategic management in case of any network issues. This is why you need to manage your network proactively. Proactive management is important to prevent your network from possible issues, outages with alerts. You need to know the first sign of trouble before it reaches your users and prevent the issues from persisting or growing in your network. For this, you can utilize features like setting up alerts or notifications, etc. So the one important feature about proactive management that NetFlow Analyzer offers is the failover. Failover is an alternative monitoring method which is used to ensure that there is visibility into your network and it's being monitored even when the primary monitoring setup goes down. With this feature, you can configure a secondary monitoring instance on a separate server. So as you can see the screenshot, this is the failover architecture. So let me give you a brief on the working of NetFlow Analyzer's failover feature. The primary server updates a value called the heartbeat in a database, and this heartbeat value will be incremented by the primary server at a specific frequency. The secondary server will monitor the heartbeat value such that it's getting updated with every specific time interval. In case the primary server goes down, the heartbeat value will not be updated in the database. If the value is not updated for 60 seconds, the primary server is considered to have gone down, and the secondary monitoring instance will take over. The secondary instance monitoring continues till it is up. By this time, you can recover and restart the primary server. Once it is up, it will take the standby mode and let the secondary server continue monitoring the network. The information between these two instances is synced that you don't miss NetFlow data such as traffic, applications, etc. when your primary instance goes down. With failover add-on, you'll now be able to configure a secondary server in NetFlow Analyzer with virtual IP address. This helps you achieve 24/7 monitoring for your standalone and distributed networks. Setting up alerts. With this feature, you can proactively manage your network by setting alerts that will notify you when there is any unusual behavior from the normal threshold or when the link is down. Either way, you can stay in the know about what is happening on your network in real time without having to So you can stay in the know about what is happening on your network in real time without having to figure out yourself. NetFlow Analyzer offers two different kinds of alerts, such as real-time alerts or aggregated alerts. So in real-time, alerts will be generated when the data usage threshold is violated more than the permitted number of times, whereas an aggregated alert goes off when the total volume of packets over the given period of time crosses the threshold. So let me show you in the UI. So under the alert profile settings, You can create real-time and aggregated alerts. So to add a real-time alerts, you can provide a profile name and select the source based on IP group, interface, access point, and SSID groups. Define a criteria. It can be in traffic, out traffic, or both combined traffic. And define the threshold. It can be based on utilization, volume, speed, and packets. And you can provide the thresholds and provide the severity criteria based on critical, trouble, and attention, and choose a value. And make sure that you select a notification template on how you want the alerts to be notified. We'll discuss more about the notification templates in a while. And click on None. And select the time filter here in either exclude weekends or business hour filter. And provide the time zone and click on Save. Now your real-time alert will be added. And under Aggregated Alert, to add an aggregated alert, you provide the profile name and select the interface, IP group, interface group, access point group, or SSID groups. And click on the interfaces that you want to add. And provide the alert time period. So it can be either custom or periodic. So under periodic, you can select the start time. And you can select the alert for every 10 minutes. And it can go about up to 50 minutes. Or you can also select the time period, and it can be minutes, hours, days, and months. And select the time zone and define the threshold. It can be either in, out, or combined, or the traffic data based on volume and packets. And define the severity and action as critical, trouble, and attention, and choose a notification template value and click on Save. The next type of alert is traffic pattern alert, where you can provide a profile name and a description and select the interfaces and create a threshold based on critical, trouble, and attention, and choose a value, choose a notification template value, and click on None. And you can click on Save, and your traffic pattern alert will be generated. And for security alerts, you can click on Add and provide a profile name and select the source of a security attack. So it can be either a TCP attack, outflood, or TCP inflow head. And you can select the threshold based on source IP offenders, or destination IP targets, or source port or destination port, and define the threshold. You can provide an email address, the retain alert count, and click on Save. So now your alerts will be added. So one alternative way, instead of adding alerts, you can also add notification template in NetFlow Analyzer. So this feature lets you create or manage any notification alerts to receive when the link goes down or when there are no flows received between 3 to 30 minutes. So you have an extensive type of notification templates like email, SMS, log tickets, web alarms. You can run a program or trap profile, or even invoke a webhook. So to configure a notification template, under Settings tab, click on NetFlow. And under Notification Template, you can add a notification template here under email, email-based SMS, chat, run a program, log a ticket, etc. So with the run a program and log a ticket template, there's a special third-party integration with NetFlow Analyzer, so which we'll see in some time. You can also integrate webhooks with NetFlow Analyzer to send information to specified webhook URL of any integrated application such as Microsoft Teams, Cisco WebEx, Telegram, and PagerDuty. So when any network incident occurs, you can easily transfer app data without any hassles. So as we saw earlier, under the third-party integrations that NetFlow Analyzer offers, there are various third-party integrations such as Service Desk Plus, Service Desk Cloud, ServiceNow, Slack, Application Managers, and Jira Service Management. So under Service Desk Plus and Service Desk Plus Cloud, you can log a ticket when alarm is generated and automatically it creates a ticket. And under Service Desk Plus Cloud, automatic tickets are created in the SDP Cloud software. So ServiceNow is a ticket logging software, whereas Slack is used when alerts are created via chat. So under integrations and add-ons, we'll look into the product integrations that we have introduced in NetFlow Analyzer. ManageEngine Applications Manager is a software that monitors application performance servers, databases, cloud, etc. Before this integration, NetFlow Analyzer will show you the utilization based on layer 4 and layer 7 applications, and you would also be able to monitor your organization's homegrown apps by custom mapping them. With this integration, you can map all your application managers to NetFlow Analyzer. You can monitor the network traffic activity and find the bandwidth hogging applications in your network. So once you have configured this, you can go to the settings in the NetFlow settings of mapping, and all the services from APM will be listed there. You can also add manually one or multiple custom services or applications in NetFlow mapping section. As soon as the APM integration is done, you can go to the inventory section, and then under the services tab, you can find the top conversations and identify the ones that are consuming most traffic. And you can also add widgets to the dashboard, generating alarms and reports for these services. So the next feature that we have is the integration with Oputils, which is an IP address and switchport management software. Oputils is now available as an add-on in NetFlow Analyzer. By enabling the IPAM SPM add-on, it aids you by providing in-depth insights into network ports, information about connected devices, the ability to inspect IP addresses more precisely, and the intuitive widgets that enable easier management. In NetFlow Analyzer, you have a separate tab here for IPAM, and if you drill down, you can see the IPAM switch port mapper, where you can see the switch summary, which displays the number of ports, including the percentage of used, available, and transient ports, and gives a comprehensive summary about the switches in your network. So here you can see the port information that lists all the ports scanned in your network and provides port availability information to tell you whether a particular port in your network is being used or is available. So in port view, it graphically displays all the switches and ports that are connected to them. Whereas in alerts, it curates and displays alarm raised by the switches in your network. These reports and views help you effectively manage your network flow. And if a particular IP is consuming more bandwidth than desired, you can find the port that IP is connected to and block it. So this add-on also provides information like a summary of network interface cards, a DNS status summary, the top 10 groups with occupied IPs, and IP availability summary. With the IPAM SPM add-on, you can obtain all the information you need from just a glance at the dashboard. Cloud traffic monitoring, where you can monitor and manage AWS resources and virtual private clouds in your network. The updates that we have introduced is support for Amazon VPC. With this, you can monitor and manage AWS resources and virtual private clouds in your network. NetFlow Analyzer's VPC flow monitoring helps you collect and monitor all critical applications, performance metrics in the form of logs, and provides you comprehensive visibility of the AWS resources and VPCs in your network. The next biggest update in NetFlow Analyzer is the Network Packet Sensor, also known as NPS. NPS is an agent that combines the functionality of NetFlow Generator, Deep Packet Inspection, and XP Tracker. Network packet sensor uses both flow analysis and packet capture methods. This agent will provide you in-depth insights about which element is at fault, whether it's the network server or the application. Network packet sensor combines the functions of NetFlow generator and deep packet inspection. Network packet sensor can be either configured as a NetFlow generator or deep packet inspection along with NetSpeed tracker, or both depending upon your requirements. Deep packet inspection will let you know the application response time and the network response time. So you can install the NPS and configure both these functionalities and configure either of them based on your requirements. Utilizing any of these agents or both can help you find which side of the fault, whether it's an application or the network side. With NetSpeed Tracker, end users and the network administrators can measure and evaluate and track overall speed of the internet connection provided by the ISP. You can monitor the health of the internet connection with respect to upload and download data and the volume received and sent. You can get an in-depth insights of metrics such as jitter, latency, and upload and download volume of data. This data is exclusively provided for different time intervals, ranging from 5 minutes and up to 60 minutes. NetSpeed Trackers reports feature provide network administrator with real-time statistics for key metrics such as upload data, upload volume, download volume, jitter, and latency. So to configure network packet sensor, under the settings tab, click on the ITOM agents, where you can see the agent type of network generator, DPI, and NetSpeed tracker. So you can see the network packet sensors device here under the interfaces tab based on volume, speed, utilization, and packets. Moving on. Let's dive into some of the new updates and features that NetFlow Analyzer has introduced. NetFlow Analyzer's behavioral anomaly detection has been enhanced with the feature pattern analysis, which is based on machine learning algorithms. No matter how huge a network data volume is, you can predict the baseline behavior of a dynamic network to alert you as and when there is an anomaly detected. At any time, if there is an unexpected spike in the network and the amount of traffic exceeds the buffer time or the upper limit, or if an ISP or a critical interface goes down and is there a decline in network traffic that extends beyond the lower limit of the buffer, it is detected as an anomaly. Traffic pattern alerts are generated from the anomalies on real-time basis. So to configure pattern analysis, under the inventory section, click on any interface. Under the traffic tab, you can see the traffic pattern analysis. And these are the anomalies that are detected. And the blue lines that you can see here are the buffer lines of upper baseline and the lower baseline. And if the threshold is crossed beyond these baselines, an anomaly is generated. You can click on individual graphs to know the upper limit or the lower limit of any particular interface with the in traffic and the out traffic with application in and DSCP in report. With source, also it provides source in report and destination in report, etc. Moving on. Simulate NetFlow. Network administrators of various organizations have set certain challenges while implementing a traffic monitoring tool or when they need to try new management strategies. They should exercise caution while executing any of these set practices, as either of them have enhance of impacting the live network. To eliminate such challenges in implementation and monitoring, NetFlow Analyzer now introduces Simulate NetFlow, a feature specifically designed to generate sample NetFlow data. With Simulate NetFlow option as a part of discovery process, network administrators can visualize the traffic and learn how NetFlow Analyzer generates different perceptions of network performance and security without disrupting the real-time operations. So to configure Simulate NetFlow, under Discovery section of Settings, you can click on the Simulate NetFlow option. where you provide your start IP and the end IP and click on disable or enable option. So now we have come to the end of the webinar. And before we move on to the Q&A session, let me give you a quick recap about what we had discussed in the session. We started with discussing how traffic shaping can make the network performance optimized, the importance of capacity planning to your organization to predict, plan, implement any future upgradation with accurate statistics. And then you also saw about the new features that were introduced in NetFlow Analyzer, the updates and its integrations. You can feel free to go through the resources about NetFlow Analyzer with these links or try our publicly available demo to get a hands-on experience of our products. NetFlow Analyzer has been considered a signature bandwidth monitoring solution by many enterprises. If you're one customer who has benefited from our product, we would love to hear your review. You can use the link below to share your experience with us on the Gartner website and get a $25 gift card. Also, the link is available in the chat panel for your reference. So that's the end of the session. Thank you.